In this video, we'll discuss about the various type of input that usually question asks us to do or take the input from the question. And in the TCS NQT, there were so many errors while taking the input. So in this video, we'll discuss each and every type of inputs that you can take in the exams, like arrays. In array there are two type of inputs, either for 1D or 2D. Mostly many of the people are facing in issue of with 1D arrays. We'll see all the scenarios in this video, and we'll see how many types of input we can take in strings, and what if the multiple data types are given in the input, and tips to conquer the input arrays and resources for practice. Guys, this would be the golden tip for you, so that you can practice and you won't miss this opportunity for your career. So great, let's move ahead with this video. So firstly, hello, I am Aditya Mishra and welcome back to the Prime Coding channel. If you are preparing for TCS NQT on-campus placement or off-campus placement drives, you are at the right place. I put the content which will help you to prepare for your on-campus, off-campus or any of the competitive exams. So please hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss any of the important update. So let's move forward with this video. As you can see, for the very first, what we have is arrays. Great. So for arrays, as you can see, we have a 1D example as well as a 2D example. In 1D, we have three examples, 1, 2 and 3, as you can see here. What if the input is given like this as an array, not like a space separated, as an array, but this is a very rare case that they will give, because mostly the input is look like this only. But I am taking the example of this case also in this video, so that you are prepared for worst and this will be the only one stop for you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. What if the input is look like this, or input is a space separated value, or the input is comma separated value? And in 2D, I won't discuss about the 2D, because 2D is very simple. If the question tells you that will give you the input like this, so if you know how to take input in 1D like this, so you just need to start your for loop 3 times 4 times as question states. Because if the question is about 2D array, they might give m and n. They will definitely give n and n, so that you can take inputs by running for loop like I equals to 0 to n and j equivalent to 0 to n, and just take the input of array of I, array of j, and cin or input anything, it will take the input for 2D. 2D is not a big issue, but 1D, there people are finding so much of issues, especially when the size is not given in the question. So you need to take dynamically. In Python, this job is cakewalk, but for C++ Java, there's a trick. We'll discuss it. Now let's hop into the compiler and see what all options we have. So as you can see here, firstly I will discuss about the Python, following with that code in C++ and in Java. But if you need this codes, I will put the link into the description. You just go through that. Try to practice with these code snippets by yourself, so that you will be able to solve the question in exam. So as you can see, let's move to the main function first. So main function, in that I am calling the first input array format, which look like this. In case 1, you can see if the array look like 1, 2, 3, 4, then what you can do. As you can see here, we'll take an array list map input as I have discussed, but in this you are using strip. What strip will do is it will remove these brackets, and what comma will do is it will take the value, like it will set the value as like before or after the number is coming after comma, which means it's an array. What I am telling is, let me move to the Notepad. Yes. So if the input look like this, what it will do, internally it will remove this and remove the comma, and you will get 1, 2, 3, 4 in your array that you have initialized. Simple. Then what we have, input space separated. Great. What if it is space separated? You just need to write a 1 line in Python and your work is done. Similarly, if it is comma separated, you just need to put a comma into the split file, like split comma, it will do your job. That's it. And in this case, if not being mentioned, or either you don't need this in Python, but I have written it, if strip will do, like what strip will do is it will remove the white spaces, extra white spaces in the num. Great. And it will tell until it's true, you just run the while loop again and again, and as we are getting inputs, just take it into and append into the array. But if any of the time we found a null or a space, you just need to break out from the loop. And as I'm checking the value error also, if the value or data type is different and you are taking the input in a different manner, like here I am using int, but might be the compiler is taking the input in string, so it will show me that it's an error. And you can print this line, guys. If you are not able to get the input properly, try to print each and every variable that you are taking, so that you will be sure, like we will make sure that your input is coming or not. If your input is coming, so there is a flaw in your logic, or else it is a flaw of compiler. Great. And there's a second case in which the size won't be there, so you use this line to take the input. Great. Now discuss the CPP code. So CPP code, input array format given to us, get okay. So we have initialized array string as int input. Great. And you see, as we don't know like how the compiler is giving us the input, so I took the string. Great. So get line will take is whatever there is one line. I think you won't understand. Let me move to the main function. As you can see here, it is the case where we got the input like this. Now if it is given in the square brackets, you need to take the input in string, then you need to split it. As you can see here, what I am doing, I am taking the input in a string. Getline will take the input without, like, if you don't use getline and if you're writing this particular case, then if you put the comma or put the enter, it will show up error. So you need to use the getline. String stream is basically used for parse the input, so that you can parse it over and give an input, as I'm taking the input here. And char c, because we need to take a character to character and will append the particular character into the array, so that we can use or we can process it or we can apply our logic there. So I'm checking is if the c is digit, please append it into the num or else ignore it. I hope you got this. And as you can see, guys, in this case there is no n or no length or no size is given to us. I am doing dynamically. How you can do it dynamically is take the input inside the while loop only. As you can see, ss like greater than symbol c, which means it takes the input because each and every number is a true. So while number, it means true. If it is like empty, means it's false, it won't work. Great. Now you see the second case. Let me move to this side. Okay, great. The second would be space separated. I think it is very easy. You just need to go through this code and it is like bit clear to us. Yes, because we are taking input similar to the above. That's it. So in this case we are also taking as a string, but it is no need. You can directly take as an input because we know that it's an integer. But in the case, if you know that, and in the question itself is telling that it is int, we'll discuss this case in the last. Let me hold for a while. Now a vector int is input size is not given, same to us, because we have did a few loops also. But I will also recommend you, after explaining myself, you just go to all the code snippets by yourself and practice it once. And in the last case, you can see it is separated by comma. That's why I took as a string input and putting the input into the string stream, so that I can parse it over. And just if the number is digit, you just need to put or append into the array and process it, put your logic, and bingo, you have solved the question. Now let's move to the Java snippet. Java code is here. Now you can see I have did all the cases and all. It is pretty similar. If you understand the C++, the Java is also an easy. But I would say, guys, take always a backup language also with you in the exam, because it might be you are not able to create logic in your native language. But if you have another language in your hand, like if you have a Python, you can write your logic easily if you know how to write or how the syntax works in Python. Great. So here what happened is I took the array list, I have initialized the scanner class, and I will take the input as I'm stating it. My input would be only in the one line, and similarly there is no size is mentioned, and you are taking the input dynamically. Fine. And if it's a digit, you are just adding it up. So it's an homework for you. Just go through all these snippets. All the snippets make sense. It's like similar to each other, but all the cases are different. So I would tell you, just take pen paper and write all this whatever happening in the loop. So it would be very easy. So all these errors and all I will discuss in the last. This video might be long, but it would be one stop for you. Great. So all the cases are discussed. If it is a space separated, if it is an this type of case, or it would be a comma separated. Comma separated you need to take as an input. Space separated you can take is as int, because it's not a big deal, as we have solved shift 1, shift 2, shift 3 in that every values were given as a space separated, and I have explained extensively there. So I will recommend you to check out these videos. Great. So yes, if the size is not given, you just need to take the input dynamically. As you can see, ss.hasNext will dynamically take the inputs there and append it into the answer array or an array that you need to fill. Great. Now let me move to the Notepad and see. We have discussed all this case. I hope you know how we can take the input if the size is not given. I hope you got this. Now strings. Strings is it's a very easy topic. Strings, if this is the case, you need to take whole string as an input, like s equivalent to whole the strings, and you just need to split and strip something, and your answer is done. We'll see the code in a few seconds. And if it's a space separated, as I have told you, we can just use list, map, str, input, comma, input dot split, and you are done. And you are done, guys. So this would be very easy. And if it is a space separated, then there is be no issue in C++ and Java also. But if you see the input is in one line, so it would be very easy case, like input take that's it. It's an easy C in S or the scanner class. By using scanner class, you can take ABCD in one go, because ABCD is a variable, it's not been separated. Great. So let's move to the compiler. So yes guys, as you can see in front of you, there is a code for all the cases in the string also. It's pretty similar. I would say it's not a difference, because just we are changing the data type in the code, that's it, and it works absolutely fine. Let's move to the C++ code. See guys, the code is not at all changing, it's just changing the data type, and you are done with your input job. And you can see here all these input I have given, and all these codes are pretty similar, but as I have tried to cover all the worst cases, so I have written again and again all the stuffs, so that if you are writing it again and again, you will get the concept what is happening behind the code lines. Great. So all the cases were discussed here thoroughly. Just you need to have a quick look over it. Let's move to the Java code as well. Public static array list. Fine. You are creating the array list. Great. You are creating an array. It's not a big deal, as you are initializing the scanner class, taking the input, initializing the input as a scanner next int, and you are taking the input dynamically. There is no need of any n or m. If n is given, it's a pretty straightforward job. Then you just need to run your loop till n, and you are done. But if the n is not there, use this method that I have teaching you from few minutes now. Now great, the string is also done. Please find code snippets in the description. You can just go on to my GitHub. Great. Now let's move to the multi-data types. Like what if it is multi-data types given to us, like we have string here, we have integer here, we have character here, we have string here. Then what we'll do? We can't take it in a one line. We can't initialize either it's an integer, then it will discard this input, this input, this input. So I would tell you, as we are doing from above, like all the types we have studied till now, how you can take the input if the size is not given to you. But in this case came into 30th April, shift 1. Fine, as you can see below, in this shift it came, and I have explained in very in detail how you can take the input of this type of case. In this case, if you have understood the few minutes concept that I have taught you right now, how you can take, if all multi-type data is, you just need to take the string variable and take whole sum as an input. That's it. If it is comma separated, if it is this, if it is comma separated, use the split method to split it. If it is space separated, you are good to go. Please have a look if you have not looked this video, because in this I have talked about this extensively in Python, in C++ and in Java also. So let's move to the tips to solve the error. I would give a shout out to this guy. He has commented over this video that he has cracked the compiler logic, how the compiler is working for the programmers. Like many of the people were facing so many of errors, so I thought to create a detailed video on his review. Fine. So you can see guys, as what he is written. If you need to find this comment, you just head over this video and you can find this comment and you just go through it. Now for, like he said, the well-wisher, if you are going to write the 4 comma or 6 May or future batches, this is the main thing. Many of the people were getting indentation error. Indentation error occurs when when you are following the Python language and you are not writing the code in one line. Few lines is here, few lines is here. It might leads you to the indentation error. So how you can resolve it? But in the Python it is, if you are writing the code over the advanced compiler, this indentation error won't be there, because while writing it will show you are going somewhere wrong. But TCS NQT compiler was not that advanced, so it will give you error when you are compiling it and you got demotivated in the exam. So as he states that, give 2 blank spaces manually and do not use tab. Great. See how specifically he has told, please give 2 blank spaces instead of giving 1 space, because I think the compiler is not that intelligent that if you give 1 space it will understand it's for indentation. So give 2 space at least, or at most 2 space, and don't use tab guys. Tab is of 4 space, so it might occur some errors. So please do this if you are getting indentation error. As you can see this example, this is a pretty good example. As he wrote, if a equivalent to 0, press enter, because many of the people are like, let me go to the test file, I will tell you. Many of the people like if a is equivalent to 0 and if lines are there, then you just click on this and start writing. It will definitely create an error. So after moving to this, press enter for sure and maintain the indentation also. As he said, 2 spaces. As he said, 2 spaces you need to maintain. As this file I have created in C++, that's why it is showing error. Otherwise, it won't show any error. Great. So yes, as he states, let me go through it. Now, as he told, else press enter, space and enter space. Make sure that you follow this instruction thoroughly, guys, if you need to execute your code or take the input from the compiler. And guys, do not print anything. This is a big blunder, I tell you guys, because many of the comments I saw that they were not able to write the code, and when I saw their code, they were doing like input, please enter your input there. There is no one, guys, who will give you an enter by reading this. There will be a pre-written test case file directly using for loop. They will append all the test cases onto your code, and if your code works, it's fine. If it doesn't work, the code not been submitted. Fine. So now you can see here, X is an input here, enter value, don't do that, and do not use print statement anywhere else other than the print answer, because if you have used like print answer here, like print answer as an array that you need to return it, or something you need to return is like how many unique element is there in the array. So you might do set of answer and you are good to go. Yes, I have solved. No guys, as per him, he told that only one line will take it as an answer, otherwise would be ignored. So if you need to print your array element as well as the unique element, you just need to print into the one line only. Don't use another line, otherwise it won't take your input. Fine. So 3 blunders I have discussed. Now work around the problem to print values for debugging. It is used to try except or block. Yes guys, as I have showed you, like you can use try and catch method. If you are giving the input but compiler is not taking, instead of prompting a big error, just write and try and accept block so that you can fetch the error. What is the correct error it is? It might be, as he had told is, like if the input in the question itself, in the question it states that the input will be in string, but input would be in integer, but when you are taking the input from the compiler, they are giving the string value. It might be there. So use a try catch if you are not able to take the input after trying so many times. After trying, like I have told you 3 types of input where you can take in the above code files as I've showed you. So after doing this, if you are not able to take the inputs, I will tell you to do this try and catch method, so that if error pops out, you can see what error actually is, then you can rectify it easily. And try to print it if no other ways are left. You have tried everything and still the input will not be taken. So If you are using try catch, I will definitely make sure that this will be the last option, and this will 100% work for you. If this doesn't work for you, then take an n and print it directly and see what is actually happening. Is that you are able to take the integer properly, take the input properly. If this works, means try to follow this case only, not to other cases. But this type of situation won't arise. This would be the very last option you need to perform. I have provided the code snippet in the description. You just have a look. Try using try catch, and in this example he have also taught like how you can try then enter, then put space, then x equivalent to 9,0. It should give the 0 divisible array, because you can't divide a number by 0. Fine. So, and you can print the type also. What is the correct type of the current integer that you are taking? Is that an integer? Is that a string? Is that a double? It will give you. Now, always at start, check whether you are able to get input procedurable format or not using above method, since the input format displayed is not always the same as considered. As I have told you right now, you just make sure the compiler is also giving in the right order that it states in the question. It might be different, so it can make some errors. So this guy have solved all the question, I would say. That's why he are able to crack all this logic. So yes guys, big shout out to him. Let's move to another point where how you can practice the resources I will give you just now. And the code snippet will be given in Python, C++ and Java in the description. Just have a look. So let's move to here. Now guys, you can see I have put in every code in a well formatted repository. Every shift answer is there, and this TCS NQT all input scenario code file is also there. Just you need to go here and see. You can see there are types of question available for basic programming, arrays, strings, math, sorting, binary search and more. So you just need to head over the beginners. I will put this link into the description, and I would highly recommend you that please come to here and set your difficulty level as 1000 to 1200 and put as a basic programming or arrays, and try to solve each and every, like I would say for each topic, try to solve 10 questions. And as if I click on any of the cases, I would tell you, let me do. As you can see in this, you need to write the code from scratch. You need to write the code from scratch, just like TCS NQT. But these compilers are very advanced, so it won't tell you it not show any of the errors that it is not taking input at all. It will definitely take inputs, because I am personally using from years. Now you can see, same way you will get the input in the TCS NQT. If you might given any of the shifts, you might be aware of this. Now the space separated value is given. You need to practice all this by yourself, so that you will be equipped with all the necessary things to perform in the exam. Fine. So I will tell you, for every topic you need to practice 10 question. Then if you are able to solve 10 question, it hardly takes 1 hour. And if you are able to, then you are good to go for the TCS exams. If you are not, I will tell you to analyze the concept, how you can write the code, how actually the function is writing, how to create logics, and watch my all shifts, so that you can understand the patterns also, how the pattern are coming into the exams. So yes guys, this is from my side. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe the channel. It's helped me in many ways. So we'll meet you with a video soon.